Hail, beloved one, blessed are you among all, and blessed is the fruit of your creation. Beloved ones, pray for all sons and daughters of light, now and in the hour of our transformation, in all time, in all ways, always. Amen.
Amen.
Shalom, my beloveds. I am that which you have called your beloved mother. I am that which has been called Queen of Angels. I am that which has been called Queen of all heaven. But I am your mother most of all. For I have given my life throughout the eternities to be the support you pray to have, to be an intercessor, as some call it, in the journey returning to the arms of all, Father, Mother, God. Not that you need an in-between, you do not, but I am here to put my cloak around the sadness, the grief, and the fears that your human hearts carry, so that you are more eased into the realization of oneness, now and forevermore. And so it is. So, with that said, I like to start my talk, my conversation this way, to tell you a bit of my life as Maria, that which is the mother of the boy who became the man you usually refer to as Jesus, but in my household he was Yeshua. And I want to tell you the story of being a mother of a precocious one, such as he. So this day in particular that comes to mind to tell you, I was cooking. I was preparing a meal for our family, and I was making what became known as world-famous hummus. And I was being criticized by this beautiful child who said, "Mother, you have not ground the peas enough. It will not be smooth enough." And I said, "Boy, where did you learn to make hummus?" And he said, "I know these things, Mother. Do it well." And I would have a deep breath, and then I would go about doing what I needed to do, because he was a curious and very interesting young boy. This was maybe when he was about 6 years old. And I said finally, after he kept coming at me with another critique of my method, I said, "Then I need you to tell me what next to put in this dish." And I gave him my spoon to lick, and he said, "Olive oil." He screamed very loudly, "It needs more olive oil." And I said to him, "You may add it. You may finish this dish." He said, "That's a woman's work." So I said, "Well then, as the woman of this household, you will eat the way I make it, or you will not be fed." Does any mother here relate to having those kind of statements with your children? Eat what's in front of you, or go hungry, as some would say. That was one of my more pleasant moments with him, because I sort of felt like I had an upper hand, which didn't happen too often. He usually got me, do you know, by those truths, those little God-divine inspired statements that on the surface were very sarcastic and inappropriate to speak to your parent or an elder in any way. But he had such a way of carrying the fullness of a truth that one had to say, at least in front of him, look stern, and then turn your back and chuckle. So maybe you as parents have had a moment, some of you, of having to feel to be stern with a young one, all the while knowing that you wanted to laugh your self-silly. Let me say it nicely. So I know that in my role, that my big lesson was having this child test everything I did and everything I said. I was in the best school possible. And truthfully, I was a very educated young woman. I was very blessed that I was given an opportunity to study with the women's training in the Essene community. And I learned much, and I could read the language, and I could write the language. Very uncommon for most of the women in our communities in Nazareth and the surrounding areas. So I felt pretty good to meet him where he was, but he was always ahead of me. So I gave that to something bigger than me. That my job wasn't just to bear this child through my body, but to bear this child throughout my life as a mother. His siblings were not quite so challenging unless they thought they could mimic him. And then, as you know, a sibling will say, well, he can do it. How come I can't do that? Why do I have to be marked as punished and he gets away with it? And we had interesting conversations in our household. So I say those things to you to remind you of my humanness. My love for you is greater than any human heart can hold. My sorrow throughout that life experience was larger than most human hearts could bear. And yet, I did not leave my body with any of that sorrow, with any of that pain. And that is why I'm here to give you the reminders and the love and the support of that great divine mother. That part of God, Goddess, that you know you are birthed in. So I began saluting you with a prayer that I was greeted with. If you know the story, my cousin so happily met me knowing, "Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you," she said. "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb." So I want you to hear that prayer as my gift to you, acknowledging, blessed are you among all people, and blessed is the fruit of your creation. And in these words, know that you cannot separate yourself from our Father, Mother, God. You cannot in any way be abandoned, shunned, or shamed, no matter what your thoughts, no matter what your intentions, even conscious or otherwise. Beloveds, I am here to pray with you this night. I have lessons to teach you. I have lessons to share with you. But my role tonight is to be here reflecting prayer with you and to remind you of the ways in which you can pray all day, every day, and how important that is.